If you are disabled and unable to work, you may be entitled to Social Security benefits. In order to obtain benefits, you must prove your disability is severe enough to keep you from working. Social Security is financed through a dedicated payroll tax. If you have been paying taxes, then you have been paying into Social Security. And if you are no longer able to work, you've earned your rights to your Social Security benefits. Call the lawyers at O'Malley & Langen, representing Social Security claimants for a quarter of a century.
Welcome back to You Be the Judge. I'm here with Jim Martin from the Friendship House and Peter Cosgrove, the chairman of Spring Break, to talk a little bit about autism and how it impacts our community and what's available for parents of children with autism. And Jim, before the break, we talked a little bit about the funding. And the state and federal government's budgets have been, the federal government, everybody knows with the cutbacks there, but the state budget as well. How has that impacted you and how difficult has it been?
You're absolutely correct. Governmental funding is a struggle for all of us that depend on that. Probably about a year ago, the Advocacy Alliance Board of Directors and Friendship House Board of Directors realized that there was some benefit of coming together collectively. And when I say that, they came together in a partnership. And one of the fundamental reasons for that partnership was the ability to share administrative staff between the two agencies. So the way we're structured is we have one chief executive officer for both entities, and that's Alex Azzurri.
We had him here last year.
Yeah, Alex was here last year. And so Alex is shared across both entities. So we don't have to have two chief executive officers. We have a chief financial officer, which is also shared across both entities and both participate in the cost. We have a shared human resource position. That's our chief human resource staff member who's shared across. So we looked at that, and they were immediate savings that both agencies had because they shared those staff. Now we're looking at a variety of areas, and you can only imagine. It's in purchasing, it's in vehicles, it's in just day-to-day things that we do.
I hope our politicians are listening.
Right.
Because when you talk about shared responsibility and sharing, Scranton School District, the city of Scranton, the county government in Scranton could share so many things and save so much money. But there's that little jealousy that I want to keep my fiefdom for myself. And I think you're proving that when your back gets up against the wall, you start to look at some of these things, and it works.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was absolutely the case, that the Friendship House needed that support from the Advocacy Alliance. They teamed up, and it's on a daily basis that we're talking about sharing resources back and forth. You have opportunities with staff that have very unique experiences in one agency that you just share back and forth, and you don't have to go out and purchase that. You have that expertise and you use it. So that's one of the ways that that we're seeing benefit.
How about healthcare?
That's the other area. When we came together, if you want to talk about healthcare across both entities, the benefit of healthcare. We looked at that, and as you know, you go out annually, you look at a price and you look at a product, and we went out jointly to do that. What we experienced our first year was that we weren't able to do a product just for both agencies, but what we saw in that process, we were, by virtue of size, we were able to get a better product for Friendship House staff at no additional cost. So, our goal over time, obviously, is to do that. I mean, is to get a single benefit package and move that across the agency. So the nice thing about this structure that we've put together, we're referring to that as an innovation center. We have an executive staff of people that have HR, fiscal, and management and IT experience that are available to smaller not-for-profit agencies that if they have a situation where their executive director is retiring and it's tight on money, they want to share in our executive management staff cost, they can be part of this entity and come under that umbrella. which is, we have a couple other smaller agencies right now that are working with us on that end.
That's a terrific idea. You know, the other asset that I would share with you is we have the Kenya School of Management up at the University of Scranton.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I say this all the time, but when I was in the school board, we brought them in to examine the operations of the school board from a business standpoint.
Right.
And they gave us a report that was absolutely spectacular, and it cost us nothing.
Yep.
If we brought in a management consulting team, it probably would have been
absolutely.
$250,000 for what they were able to give to us. So we're fortunate around here to have those type of benefits. Alex is quite an administrator as well. And he's
I've
got
known,
a great
yes.
personality
Yep.
that I think would give confidence to each organization, because there had to be some trepidation in the beginning that they're going to get more than you are, or you're going to get more than they are.
That was absolutely part of the conversation, because you want to keep the autonomy, but you want to be able to share resources back and forth, and that's the way it was structured. And we have an oversight board that is comprised of members from both organizations, and actually we're meeting tomorrow, and I think they feel very comfortable with each other at this point. And in so many ways, I think they wonder why that hasn't been done earlier, why that didn't get done earlier, and why more agencies aren't looking at that in the future. The other, we started this conversation really about shrinking state and federal dollars. The other aspect of this is many of the foundations and funding sources look very favorably upon agencies or entities that have come together and collectively look to work together and plan together and develop programs and services together. So that's another area that's really, we're going to be, I believe we're going to see some benefit of that over time.
Just so that our audience understands, what is the Advocacy Alliance's mission as opposed to the Friendship's House mission?
The Advocacy Alliance is an agency that provides more advocacy services for persons with mental illness. So they'll provide a lot of supportive services to persons with mental illness. They also have financial services where they provide representative payee services when an individual needs support with managing their funds. So they provide a lot of those services. The Advocacy Alliance is located in, I believe, 47 counties across the Commonwealth where they provide services. Sure. Whereas the other side of it, Friendship House is more of a service delivery agency. We provide more direct care services, more services to kids. So it was, in some ways, it was a natural relationship to come together, because Advocacy Alliance brought the infrastructure, you know, the administrative support. Where you talked a little bit about Alex and his experience. That experience came to Friendship House, and it has really helped us turn the corner.
And you need to tell us a little bit about Friendship House, because that's been there a long time. It served a lot of people over the years.
Absolutely.
Can you give us a quick thumbnail history?
Yes. I actually came to Friendship House last year after spending 29 years in county government in the county administrative structure that supported persons with mental health and intellectual disabilities. So I saw Friendship House for 30 years, and I worked with the many staff and the boards and everyone that worked at Friendship House. Friendship House, for a number of years, as people will remember, had a very large treatment center. They provided a number of day programs for children with mental illness. They had a school. There was residential programs. It was a very large agency. Today, we look more like an $8 million operation. Most of our services are in the community, where we talked earlier about services and supports in Scranton School District. We have staff out in the community, foster care and adoption services. So we're an agency that's mostly in the community at this point, other than our outpatient clinics that we have in a few locations.
When we come back, Peter, I want to talk to you about how the public can help, what they need to do, and let's make sure they get the message that reaching into their wallet and pulling out some money for the Friendship House is something that'll make them feel better about themselves. So please stay tuned to You Be the Judge. I'm Todd O'Malley with the law offices of O'Malley & Langen. If I say accident, what do you think? Car crash, falling down the steps, unexpected events. People don't realize most of these accidents aren't really accidents. They're injuries caused by careless third parties. So if you've been hurt at work, call O'Malley and Langen. 1-800-817-COMP. 1-800-817-2667.
Have you been denied Social Security benefits? You can appeal. If you are disabled and if you have been paying taxes, you've earned your rights to your Social Security benefits. Call O'Malley and Langen. And remember, we don't get paid unless you win.
I'd be remiss if we didn't spend a little time talking about how the public can help make this a success. And you've got a website up, and tell us a little bit about what they have to do to make a donation online.
Well, if they can't make the function on March 27th, they can make a donation online for whatever they'd like. As I said, this has been going on for 10 years, this fundraiser for Spring Break for Friendship House. And we've had thousands of people donate online. They can come to the event. They can send checks to the Friendship House. Whatever they can do, all this money, 100% of the money is spent for the respite care and the summer camp for the children in this area.
And as a parent of a child that's had the services of the Friendship House, you can vouch firsthand for what a wonderful institution
It's a wonderful, wonderful time for the children, and sometimes the parents need that relaxation for an hour or two to get their batteries charged.
You know, I hear this, I all the time I hear people say, you know, we can't do this around here, we can't do that around here. We've got some fantastic programs here. Another one that comes to mind is EOTC. Sharon
Absolutely.
McCrones,
Yes.
she does a fantastic job over there. The Friendship House is something that's been around since the miners had to leave their kids there.
Absolutely. Yep.
And it has done wonderful things. We have Sarah Wolf, who was the strongest advocate for the ABLE Act, to give kids with developmental disabilities the ability to create some funds for themselves. So I think we can all be proud of everything that happens in this community, and we can all help a great organization like the Friendship House by either coming to the event, buying something at the silent auction, or just sending a check. Thank you for sharing your Sunday morning with us on You Be the Judge. We'll see you next week. I'm Todd O'Malley with the law offices of O'Malley and Langen. If I say the word tragedy, what do you think? Floods, hurricanes, devastation on a huge scale. I bet not one of you thought work injury. And that's a problem in our society. Just because something happens one person at a time doesn't make it any less significant. Over 3.5 million people are injured or killed on the job every year, each an individual tragedy. If you've been hurt at work, call O'Malley and Langen. 1-800-817-COMP.
Are you a veteran who is looking to improve your math and writing skills? Enroll in RVATS at Marywood University.
It's been about 7 years since I was in school, and upon completing the RVATS program, I feel that it really helped me with my confidence in taking courses here at Marywood University.
These are free, non-credit classes for veterans and their spouses. Use your new skills to get a job or go back to school.
So it is such a great opportunity, and I'm thankful for it.
Contact us to enroll in RVATS at Marywood University today.